That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
It's crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 173 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Trout Fishman.
And before we get into our longer stories today, we got to catch you up on any of the news you may have missed these last 2 weeks. And David, I got some news for you. Because right here, oh God, why do we, we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and missing.
Oh.
I can't get that right anymore. I can't get it right anymore.
Yeah, you really botched it.
But before we do it, we gotta catch up on the weird news you may have missed. So here we go, Dave. I got a thing for you. Okay, couple reportedly beheaded themselves in sacrifice with homemade guillotine.
Whoa. Now that's true love.
So, this was in India, New Delhi, and it was so here's something I found out. Human sacrifice is pretty big in India. I wouldn't say pretty big, but it is
bigger than you would think.
Yeah, it's reported that there were 100 reported cases between 2014 and 2021. But it's also because they're god sacrifices, and I don't know much about Indian culture, but I do know they got a lot of gods over there.
Yeah.
So I know one of them just got a little taste for blood, because this couple, they 38 and 35. I won't say their names because I'm just gonna butcher them. Ooh. No pun intended.
Ooh.
I'm pulling on my collar. But so they said the couple first prepared a fire altar before putting their heads under a guillotine-like mechanism held by a rope, and says as soon as they released the rope, an iron blade fell on them. Get this, severing their heads. I think they did it at the same time. But it severed their heads, which rolled into the fire.
Yikes.
Talk about a double tap. No, they say that fire is considered sacred in Hinduism and plays a significant role in several worship rituals. But they cut their own heads off as a sacrifice. It was a sacrificial ritual, and I guess it's less common for people to kill themselves for sacrificial ritual, but
I think, typically.
Well, if you're doing it in the first place, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're sound of mind. But apparently they've been like arresting people for like just straight up trying to murder other people.
Okay.
Do you get like a lesser sentence if you get caught trying to murder somebody and they're like, it was for a sacrificial ritual, or instead of being like, he fucked my wife?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
once you get religion involved, things get a little hairy.
Exactly. And I mean, maybe you could also like plead insanity, but I don't even know if that's insane because like that's taught in church. I don't know. Like it's church. It's fucking called church over there.
I don't know what it's called. Jesus. Worship?
It's like synagogue, Jewish, churches, Catholic, Christian. I don't know Indian. I don't know Hinduism.
I don't either.
Hinduism. But I just thought it was such a crazy because people always talk about that where they go like, I feel like guillotine is like the one way to die that people are like, that's kind of cool still, right?
Pretty cool. But boy, that would have sucked if they tried to cut their heads off the same time and it like failed and like,
oh yeah,
you're
stuck there.
Fatally hit them, but like didn't kill immediately.
Because the problem is, if you put I'm thinking of a traditional. This was a guillotine-like mechanism, so I don't know what their setup looked like. But if I'm picturing like a traditional French style guillotine, you put your head in the wood thing, and then if that blade comes down, you can't get your head back out of that wood thing if it doesn't go all the way through, correct?
No, it's like a little handcuff.
Yeah, then you just got a thing in the back of your neck. You gotta hope somebody get they gotta do the old foot on the back of the shovel type trick on you.
Exactly.
So, have you seen the movie? I think it was called Clown. It was like an Eli Roth produced movie.
No.
But I thought of it because it's about a guy who literally cuts his finger on like a trunk full of clown costume shit, and he slowly starts becoming a clown. It's actually kind of scary.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But he tries to kill himself. Spoiler, not really. I think it was in the trailer. By making a mechanism where he tilts back in his chair, and he put 2 circular saws like on the floor in like a mechanism, so like the blades are spinning, so like when he falls back, his neck will fall right in between both circular saws and cut his head off. And I was like,
and I'm gonna guess his rainbow afro clogged the the saws and it didn't kill him.
I forgot what happened. It's been years since I've seen that movie, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think his hair got caught in it, but something did happen. I don't think he died in that moment, but I just thought, I was like, whoa, that's a pretty good modern guillotine we got going.
His little bottle of carbonated water was on his back, and it sprayed and it launched him forward away from the blades.
How come that little bottle of carbonated water always looks so tasty? I wanted to take it. Pour me a glass. Stop wasting it on your clown friend.
Forget the glass.
Shoot
I'm just
that
gonna
in my-
open up and you spray it at me.
Fire extinguisher my mouth with that fucking thing. Yeah, it's
He tried to lean back, but his clown shoes got caught in the table in front of him. He didn't fall all the way back.
honestly, that could have been something like that. That would that might be happening in the movie. But at the same time, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say about this clown. Now I'm thinking about those clown shoes. But yeah, it's a pretty good modern day guillotine mechanism, and I don't know, just trying to look for that next engineer to get that grant. Come on, we need a new guillotine, guys. Come on, looking
Never
for.
have enough. I'm talking lasers. Get me some lasers involved.
I feel like Pepsi. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say, but I feel like Pepsi gave out money to like a kid who like redesigned an aerodynamic bus. But like, I feel like Coke should be like giving money out to the kid who invents the new guillotine.
The new death trap, yeah.
But what I was gonna say about clowns, I remember what I was gonna say. How come all their props look so tasty? They use seltzer water and pies. Those are 2 of my
It's true.
favorite things to eat.
And then they pull all them ribbons out of their mouth.
I love a ribbon.
Endless ribbons. Delicious.
Like a fruit roll up.
Exactly.
It's great. It's so good. Anyway, yeah. So they're dead. Their heads rolled into fires. I was gonna say it's kind of like nice because like they made sure they're dead, but if like your head rolls into a fire, you're pretty dead.
Yeah, they can't sew that back on.
They couldn't even enjoy like the 30 seconds of blinking.
They enjoyed 30 seconds of fire.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got to see what the inside of fire looks like.
That's pretty cool.
Not many people get to see that.
Yeah.
So you probably shouldn't. Don't recommend it. Anyway,
No.
David, you got a story?
Boy, I got a story for you, man. You're going to love this. Man caught performing sexual acts in an alley on a seagull.
How'd he catch it?
They don't say how he caught it. They just have video footage of him from CCTV. And he's at a back alley at 1 a.m. and he is watching porn on his phone and having sex with a seagull.
No way.
Yeah.
He had to watch porn on his phone?
Yeah, I know, right?
He had the seagull.
Embarrassing for the seagull.
It's so humiliating.
Humiliating.
He didn't even want to be there.
It says when he was done, it says he pulls up his trousers and gives a kick to the bird. He picks up his
Oh
phone and
my
starts to
God.
walk off.
This is what Zero does to a motherfucker.
You want? I'm gonna let you take a swing here. Where do you think this took place?
Oh, that's definitely Hermosa Beach.
Wrong.
Newport Beach.
Wrong.
It's near the sea. Louisiana.
Wrong.
Texas.
Wrong.
Florida.
Wrong.
Really?
You're not even close.
Where is it?
In England.
Oh, they got seagulls.
Yeah.
England.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah,
I saw it. I'm trying to figure out. I saw where it was, and I lost exactly where it is. I know it's in England.
where did he put
I think
it?
it was Manchester.
Where did
Manchester's in England, isn't it?
Yeah, Manchester
Okay, you gave me a look like I just goofed that one.
No, well, you didn't hear my question.
Oh.
Where'd he put it?
So that's one of the stranger things.
That's what that show's about?
Yeah. It says that he appeared to masturbate with the bird close to his groin. So he was just going to town on himself and holding a seagull to it.
What? Oh. What?
I don't know.
That's like, do you think...
A bit peckish, huh?
Oh, a little foul. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's interesting. I don't know what to say about that. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to tell you something. Seagulls do have rights because there was a kid at my high school that put like Alka-Seltzer tablets in like food and then threw it to the seagulls and they ate it. And I guess birds can't fart. So when they get gas buildup,
They explode.
yes, and that's what was happening. I wasn't at the school. I was an 8th grader, and it was, it was happening at the high school like next to us, and it became like a thing, and the kid had to like pay a bunch of money, and like PETA or like animal whatever got involved, and
Yeah. Protective services.
so you can't. I don't know. That's kind of like a Weinstein-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
He made the seagull watch.
Sicko. Guess what his name is?
John Seagull.
David Lee, 40 years old.
40, you can't. That's like 23-year-old behavior. You can't be 40
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine, like, kid. There's some crimes where you're like, I'm humiliated. They're like, they caught me for murder. I murdered that guy for sure. I robbed that bank. Not a good look. Even like I stole groceries or like I stole money. I held up an old lady and I took like that's probably the most humiliating like normal crime. But then you get this crime. How do you even like explain this to anybody?
Yeah, you just got to move. Change your name. Somewhere where there's no seagulls.
I was going to say probably somewhere where there's going to be more seagulls, to be honest.
Yeah.
But do you think
It's a
that's
vicious cycle.
Do you think that's a kink, or do you think that was he's just an opportunist and he's like, well, I got an audience. Take a closer look.
If I had to guess, the guy was blacked out drunk. He has no idea what he was doing.
Do you think that he's like fed up? Well, I'm tired of getting shit on by pigeons. You're gonna feel what it's like to get right. He must have something like that.
It had to have been a revenge story. I don't know.
I can't wait for Disney to get a hold of this. It'd be a real good Pixar movie.
The Wanker of Manchester.
I love that. That's good. Anyway, so I have another story here as this was demonic. Florida Uber Eats driver killed, dismembered during delivery run. I'm getting a lot. My stories are a little brutal today.
Yeah, mine have to do with animals.
But this guy, this is in Florida, of course. He was an Uber Eats driver, and he drove to this guy's house. This guy, Oscar Solis, 30 years old, drove to his house and went to go drop off the food, and he went missing, and his wife couldn't get a hold of him. They couldn't figure out what happened, and they started like interviewing people around the neighborhood and the friends and stuff, and they eventually found out that this Uber Eats driver just showed up, delivered the food, and the guy like pulled him into the door and then just robbed him. It was a robbery gone wrong, I think. So he just robbed him, and then I don't know what happened. He might have fought back and killed him, and then they checked like some CCTV, and the guy they were interviewing wasn't the murderer, but he was just like, yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy. And then they checked the CCTV, and he was bringing out like trash bags to the both of the guys, the suspect and the friend were bringing trash bags out of the trash cans, and they opened them and they found him cut up. And I was like, why would you cut somebody up into pieces just to put them in your trash can right in front of your place?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell people what to do.
Hey, you know what? That's the whole thing, though. It's like, who would do that? Couldn't have been me.
They look in you put them in the place the last place they'll look. Like the cop show up, it's like their whole body underneath the doormat. You're not gonna check there. I do sometimes think about that. If I was on the run from the police, how would I go about that?
Yeah, announce that to everybody.
What?
For free.
Oh, don't. Yeah, I'm not going to tell them
No,
my
I'm
strategy.
telling you. What would you do?
My strategy?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I do. I switch my facial hair. Okay?
Okay.
Just
Like upside down?
just really long sideburns. Mutton chops, if you wish.
Yeah.
Okay?
Classy.
I buy a top hat. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Gain about 40, 50 pounds.
Easy.
Easy. Get a samurai sword.
Yeah.
And then I find the most beautiful lady in a 30-mile radius that will run away with me to Mexico.
Yeah.
She will be my lady.
Mm-hmm.
And we will start a Funko Pop shop in Mexico City.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
You want to know my escape plan if I'm running from the cops?
Yes.
One word. Hot air balloon.
You know you
Ain't
can't.
gonna
You know you can't.
They ain't gonna catch me.
You know you can't steer those, right?
Exactly. So then, if I don't know where I'm gonna land, how are they gonna know where I'm gonna land?
That's a really good point. Sam, our buddy Sam, sent me a video when he was in Mexico City. He took a hot air balloon up for like a commercial he was in, and he's
There
like,
you go.
you know how they steer hot air balloons? I was like, no, actually, and he's like, they don't. And he showed me a video. They came not crashing down. They came down in like somebody's backyard. It was like a kind of a field. It looked like somebody's like land, but it was like pretty rural land, and they were just like coming down, and there was like 6 or 8 foot high like daisy plants, like really big weeds that they were just like kind of crashing down into, and I was like, huh. I never.
Well,
really...
I think you can kind of choose where you land in a hot air balloon.
Well, you can choose in terms of like stop putting hot air into the balloon and it'll come down.
exactly.
But if you get over that post, you're in Oregon, man. You're already close enough to the water. If you get over that water, you better hope that basket can float.
I'm a good swimmer.
Get wrapped up in that balloon.
Got web feet.
You like the dog that went on the pool cover and they get all sucked up in it and it can't get out. But the balloon in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, I'm friends with many aquatic life. I'll be fine.
You have another story?
I do.
Okay.
Lamb found in car next to 10,000 pounds, and that's money pounds, not weight pounds, of heroin and cocaine and a bag of chips.
What kind of chips?
See, that's what I was confused by. This happened in Glasgow, and
Scotland?
so I'm not. Yeah, and I'm not sure if they're saying, do they call French fries chips?
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh
probably just some
shit.
French fries.
Oh wait. Oh, I don't know actually. I assume they do. I
Yeah.
assume they
I
bag
have
their
no
chips
idea.
up.
I mean, you get like, you go to like McDonald's and you get like the small one that's in a bag. It's not like in that cardboard thing.
I
right?
think they actually do bag a lot of their chips. I like my chips in a little tray, like a little what they put
hot dog tray.
Yeah, like what they put
Little red and
what they
white.
put the little tiny nachos in, and you put the fries. in.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
I just like a handful of them.
Oh.
A hand will do it. I don't need no container.
Why are we talking so in depth about fries?
I'm just saying. What are your favorite type of fries?
I'm one of those guys that no one likes. I kind of like the sweet potato fries.
Oh my god.
I like them.
I just threw up a little bit.
I like them. They're good.
Sweet.
If
If I could remove one item of food in the world, it'd be sweet potatoes.
Shut the fuck up. No, I also eat tofu.
That's fine. I don't care.
Oh,
I eat tofu.
I thought you were gonna. You really like tofu over sweet potato fries?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't like that you have to pay $1 for them, so sometimes I don't get them out of principle. But I like a nice. What do I like? I hate steak cut. I hate steak cut fries.
Okay.
Those are the worst fries. They're
I like
always
them,
soggy.
but I can understand when people don't like them.
They're always soggy. They're never crispy. I like a nice
crispy
crinkle
ones are good.
cut. A crinkle cut's good.
The Chris cut?
What's a not the crisscross?
Yeah, like the
No,
kinda like the hashtag looking ones.
No, crinkle cut looks like an accordion.
No, those ones are always fucking soggy.
No, they're not. If you
Yeah, they are.
okay, they are
Yeah,
a lot
they
of the
are.
time, but if you gotta cook them long enough, Shake Shack has crinkle cut.
Yeah, and guess what?
What?
They're soggy.
They're good.
Chris cut, baby.
Chris cuts are good. They're not even called Chris cut. They're called waffle fries, bitch.
I don't give a shit.
Chris
Call it what I
cut.
want.
You just made up a word.
No,
No one's ever called them Chris cut fries.
I think that's what they're called at Carl's
You're
Jr.
thinking of crisscross and
No.
cut fries.
No, dude, that's what they're called at Carl's Jr.
Are they? You go to Carl's Jr.
Pretty sure.
a lot?
No,
Then how the fuck do you know that? You've been there recently?
no.
Are you just trying to pick a place that I can't reference because I don't go to Carl's Jr.? They call it Hardee's on the East Coast, you know.
They call it Hardee's in Montana.
Do
you
they?
don't even have to go that far east.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's Carl and who's his son? Wait.
Carl and his son, hard on.
Is it? Oh,
It's hard. It's
Hardy.
hardon.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, Jollibee's has Chris cut fries too, and they call it that.
Jollibee? You've never been to
I
a
like
Jollibee.
I love Jollibee's. I do. When I lived in LA, I would drive 40 minutes to go to Jollibee's.
To Koreatown?
Yeah, I think that was the one. I can see it. I don't remember where it was because
For those of
my
you who
mind.
don't know, Jollibee is a Filipino fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's kind of like if Jack in the Box made
Was good.
I was just gonna say made like a even more outrageous menu. Like they have spaghetti on the menu, right?
Yeah, they got little spam sliders.
Yeah, it's pretty. I've never been there, but I saw Anthony Bourdain
Oh.
eat a bunch of spaghetti and he this
very
like dessert
good.
thing. It had like purple taro in it, and
They put pineapple slices in your burger. That place rules.
you approve of that.
I love it.
You like pineapple on pizza?
Yep.
Okay, ham, pineapple, that's fine.
No.
No,
ham.
what?
My perfect pizza.
Oh, you're making me mad. You're making me so mad.
My perfect pizza is simple. It's just pepperoni, jalapeno, and pineapple.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I do like that one. I do like
Easy
a nice.
peasy.
I do like a nice sausage and mushroom.
No mushroom for me.
Sausage and mushroom pizza.
Keep those fucking mushrooms away from me.
I used to hate mushrooms. I love mushrooms now.
You know what that says about you, huh?
What? I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like how we didn't even talk about your news story. We talked about fries instead.
Sometimes it's all you need.
Yeah, we just need a jumping off point. You know, sometimes.
Yeah. There's literally 2 sentences to the story, so this is better than reading it.
What was the 2 sentences?
A lamb has been found in the back of a car
Oh, I forgot about
alongside roughly 10,000 pounds worth of Class A drugs on Saturday evening, April 22nd. A police dog named Billy sniffed out the drugs, and the lamb, who was seen pictured next to the bag of chips, as a photo.
Oh, tell us, are they fries or are they chips?
You can't see.
What the fuck?
The woolly passenger was rescued by Police Scotland around 6:10 p.m. and taken in by a farmer. After the car was pulled over on M74 in Glasgow, can't say that word. Officers recovered an estimated 7,000 pounds of heroin and 3,000 pounds of cocaine.
First off, that was way more than 2 sentences.
It was 2 small paragraphs. The font's really small, so I
Well, I appreciate the info, but
Oh wait, I lied. One more. According to police, 2 men aged 52 and 53 and 1 woman aged 38 were arrested and charged with drug offenses. A search of the car was carried out with assistance from a dog unit. That's all of it.
I have 2 more things to say after that first thing.
Yes.
1, that dog Billy smelled the chips. He didn't smell the drugs.
Say Billy in a Scottish accent.
Billy.
Billy.
No, you're kind of doing Shrek, which is a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Billy.
I feel like you got to yell in Scottish.
Yeah, Billy. Come over here, Billy.
See,
Billy.
now you sound like Shrek.
Now I sound like Fat Bastard, who is also Mike Myers
Shrek.
doing a Scottish accent.
Yeah, it's also just Shrek.
It is Shrek. Fat Bastard is Shrek. Did we just blow your minds?
Maybe.
Also, I was gonna say before you said the people, was that lamb wasn't rescued. That lamb was fucking confiscated of all of its Class A drugs and
then
some
taken
chippies.
to a farmer who's gonna slaughter
You a
it.
chippy guy? Yeah, no. I think he's no. Do you think he's gonna get the? Well, I think sheep or lambs. When does a lamb become a sheep? I don't know. A lot of them are used for actual like wool over there.
I thought a lamb was a male and a sheep was a female.
You know what? I don't know about them at all.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. Lamb versus sheep.
Now we need answers.
Versus goat. I know what a goat is. Don't fucking throw goat in there. I know what that is. Lambs are less than 12 months old. Adult sheep are 12 months and older. Whoa. Okay. Adult
Damn.
females are called ewes. E-W-E-S. E-W-E-S. Adult males are called what, David? You got this. You know this one.
Adult male sheep.
Yes, you got this. It's an animal you know. Think about it.
Lamb.
It's a football team.
Ram.
Yeah. Nope, it's
Yeah.
Buccaneers. I'm joking. No, it's
It's Green Bay Packers.
it's a Packer. No, yeah, a Ram. I should have known. I mean, it makes so much sense, but yeah, I also wouldn't even have thought that. So ewes.
No.
Ewes. I want to say that different. It sounds like it's coming out wrong. Ewees.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yayway.
Yay! Cool. I think we're caught up on the news now, and all of our David's a chippy guy, so you know.
From Yayway to Segway, move it into the fucking stories.
Whoa! I love that. Okay. And let's just get into it. Now, David, as you've probably heard in the news, I didn't even write an opening paragraph because I'm just talking about it. But as
Free ball it.
you've probably
it.
You've probably heard in the news, as many of you have. I live in Los Angeles. I work in the entertainment industry.
Of course.
As of yesterday, 2 days ago, there was a writer's strike that went into play. We've been waiting for it or hearing about it for the last couple months. We don't know if they were going to strike or they were going to come to an agreement, and they struck yesterday, which means the show that I'm on is shutting down. But I was thinking, and I was like,
so now you can actually put some fucking effort into this, huh?
fuck you, man. David literally told me today, he gets on the phone and he goes, oh man, I freaked out. I thought I lost my story. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I wrote it on this one thing and I wasn't sure if it went over in like the hard drive or like the cloud, and I wasn't sure.
Cloud's trying to fuck with me.
And I go, oh man, that would have sucked. And he goes, no, it's fine. I was probably just gonna wing it anyway. Probably free ball it.
Yeah.
So who's fucking? I put effort into
Out of
this.
every story I've ever done, this would have been the one to free ball, I think.
Okay, it's a missing person story.
The details aren't important.
He was 4 feet or 6 feet tall. I can't really remember. But
red hair,
Red
brown hair.
blonde.
Who gives a shit?
was his name Eric or Lou or? But it might have been a woman. I don't even know. But with all this WGA Writers Guild of America talk, you know, I was just thinking. I was like, any weird writers out there? I mean, of course, they're all weird.
Yeah.
We covered.
They all have severe mental illness.
Yeah, and you know, if newsflash, guys, which makes a lot of sense, but I do want to be a paid writer, so the mental illness is there, and if you are hiring, I will show up with a pot on my head and a hammer, and I'll bang it all day in front of your building, so you know that I'm mentally ill and you can hire me. What, David? Don't shake your head. Was that too close to home, or like was I disparaging people by saying that? I thought I chose something pretty tame.
I'm not allowed to be around pots and pans anymore. If that makes you feel any better.
You shook your head like I said I was gonna like shit in front of their like place of business. Just
again?
Good old crazy kooky Three Stooges antics to let them know I got the mind of a 1920s guy. Anyway, so I thought of any like weird writers, and the first one that came to mind was, of course, Hunter S. Thompson, who we slightly covered already.
Yeah.
You know, shootouts with the neighbors. He got cremated and put into a peyote button in a fist and shot up and exploded with fireworks in space or whatever. And he's just kind of a kooky guy. But there's another guy I stumbled upon, and he is a prominent writer. What? Is this your story?
No, I've done a writer before, and I hope it's not who you're gonna say.
What do you mean you've done a writer before?
I did a story on a writer once.
Oh,
it was pretty kooky.
On this podcast?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Just continue. We'll see.
Fuck, dude. It better not be. I don't think you did this guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill you if you have. He's a sci-fi writer. Oh, no, okay. So first off, you would know this guy's a sci-fi writer. He's like kind of seen as one of the fathers of sci-fi novels.
Okay.
And he is sadly passed away now, but I'm going to talk about his slow descent into madness, or maybe not even slow descent, maybe it's always been there. But today we are going to be talking about one of the fathers of modern day sci-fi, Philip K. Dick.
Okay, now
who are you talking about?
I did Hemingway.
Oh, Hemingway. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I didn't know that because you talked about him crashing his plane in the forest. I think he survived like 2 plane crashes, then he shot himself in the head. So it's like...
He also shot a bunch of Russian submarines with a Tommy gun.
Oh, that's right, in his turtleneck. Steve Jobs only wish you could do that. In his turtleneck. But yeah, Philip K. Dick. So let's get into it. Philip K. Dick was an American science fiction writer who wrote 44 novels and about 121 short stories in his lifetime. His fiction explored varied philosophical and social questions such as the nature of reality, perception, human nature, and identity, and commonly featured characters struggling against elements such as alternate realities, illusory environments, like illusionary environments, illusory environments, monopolistic. I'm not smart enough to even read this. Monopolistic corporations. Monopolistic corporations.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
Shut the fuck up. Monopolistic corporations, drug abuse, authoritarian governments, and altered states of consciousness. Some of his most notable pieces of work consist of, David, you might know some of these. A book called Ubik, A Scanner Darkly, Man in the High Castle, Minority Report, a book called We Can Remember It for You Wholesale, aka it was a adapted into a film called Total Recall, and of course his most famous work of all, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was made into a movie called
Blade Runner.
There we go, Blade Runner. So
yeah, I read that one once. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Really? Okay. This is what
It's like a short story.
Is it short?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I should check it out. But I haven't read any of his stuff. I do actually really want to read his stuff now after doing some research on it. But I have the confession to make. I've never seen Blade Runner.
Oh, the old one's great. The new one looked good, but I fell asleep.
Okay. Well,
I've been rewatching the Alien franchise recently.
Oh, we love that one. Was it Alien Requiem?
Yeah.
The one where they kill the kid?
Alien versus Predator Requiem is the wildest movie.
The first death in that movie is a child. And they just like commit. They already tell you like everything is off limits here. Or everything's limits. Or,
and they go, it gets darker than that.
Yeah.
Newborns.
Oh my
unborn
God,
children.
They nuked the newborns.
No, the alien ate all the babies in the fucking delivery room.
Okay, well they didn't. It was in the NICU, I believe. And if the alien walks in there and gives its own little rattle, And after it gives a rattle, we don't see what happens to those babies crying in the NICU. But if the alien didn't eat those babies, they just nuke the whole town.
No, the alien definitely ate the babies because the nurse goes in there and she like starts screaming.
Oh, that's just because there's an alien in there.
No, the alien is gone. But what I was going with was that it's like been proven that Alien is in the same universe as Blade Runner.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
also,
Ridley Scott did the second Blade Runner?
Well, not just that, but there's like the same companies are in it.
But
and stuff like that.
But in the first one or the second one, I think the first one was made in 82. I don't know when Alien was made.
I think it was 86.
Because Ridley Scott did Alien, and then James Cameron did Aliens, the sequel, which is awesome. Maybe even better. They're different movies. First one's a horror film. Second one's an action film. But I think Ridley Scott did direct the second Blade Runner, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Let me see. Sorry.
But where I was also going with this is that James Cameron has put references of Alien.
Denis Villeneuve, the guy who did Dune.
Yeah.
I didn't know he directed that. Okay, anyway, sorry.
But what I was going with is that James Cameron did Alien 2, and
Aliens.
There are tons of references in Avatar.
Oh.
Which, if they bring the xenomorphs into Avatar...
Dude, why would they do that?
Because they're both aliens.
Yeah, but that would take a
and then Harrison Ford
turn.
comes in and fucking kills all of them, and at the end he's like, I'm a robot.
They're making the Aliens cinematic universe? The Aliens cinematic universe.
And Arnold's there.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And Adrian Brody.
Oh, yeah. Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
I think he died. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we need to get back to this. We only got to the first paragraph, so let's get back into it. I have not seen Blade Runner. I've seen Minority Report. I've seen Total Recall. I've seen A Scanner Darkly. But I have not seen that. I really want to watch it.
Yeah, remember the 3 boobs in Total Recall?
That was the best part.
Yeah, it was.
No, the best part is when he gets on the surface of Mars and his eyes bulge out of his head.
Yeah, that's also a good one.
Also,
the guy blows up.
And also when he pulls the metal ball out of his nose. Fucking crazy.
It's been a while since I watched that movie.
That movie's wild.
They tried to remake it or... with
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell?
I never watched it.
Was it a remake or was it a continuation?
I don't know. It was called Total Recall, so I don't really.
All right, we're getting back on track.
Yeah. Anyway, so but before he became an icon in the world of science fiction, he was first one of 2 twins born 6 weeks premature in Chicago, Illinois. Philip and his twin sister Jane were born December 16th, 1928, to parents Dorothy and Joseph. Sadly, about 6 weeks after their birth, Philip's sister Jane passed away, which left a lasting mark on the sci-fi author throughout his life. He would constantly have something in like a lot of his books called like a phantom twin or something like that, where it's like a I don't know if it was a twin that died, but it was like a connection with like a sibling, and I was like, it's kind of sad, you know. It's kind of
like a phantom pain.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know
when you lose your arm and you can like still feel pain in like your hand.
Yeah,
it's not there.
And I don't know exactly what it consisted of because like I said, I haven't read his books, but it said that was something that like a reoccurring element of some of his books. I mean, he wrote 44 novels and like 120 short stories, so it's like it probably popped up in a couple. So Philip would face more issues as a child as his father was forced to move from state to state, often due to his job in the Department of Agriculture. After moving to California for a few years from Illinois, Joseph was forced to move to Nevada, which is why Dorothy was against, resulting in a divorce and nasty custody battle for Philip. Philip ended up staying with his mother and attending high school and college in Berkeley, California. So he went to Berkeley High, and then I think he went to UC Berkeley after that, which is kind of interesting. So during his adolescence, Philip began to suffer from strange happenings in his mind. Philip claimed on numerous occasions that a disembodied voice would pop up now and again to guide him through crucial moments in his life. He called it Ruah, R-U-A-H, meaning the Spirit of God, and it first began speaking to him in high school when he was stuck on a physics exam, which he says he aced with the voice's help. The voice would reappear.
I could have used that, fucker.
Hey, can I get a Rua, motherfucker? Everybody, I don't want to see any notes on your hands, no calculators out, and if Rua talks to you, you block him out.
No Rua zone.
No Rua. If he tells you that that people are unworthy to be in next to you and they're infidels, do not listen to Rua. Do not listen.
Rua tells you to use your chair and pens as a weapon, do not listen to him.
Listen to Rua. The voice would reappear for short intervals afterward and only offer brief bits of advice before disappearing again. Quote, I have to be very receptive to hear it. It sounds as though it's coming from millions of miles away, Dick once said. Which is like kind of terrifying. And to be completely honest, it's like it lays a very like believable landscape for like the path he was going to take. And to be honest, which is really interesting, he wasn't initially interested in writing science fiction. He was interested in science, and he went to a newsstand one day and they didn't have like Modern Science, whatever magazine it was. So he's like, oh, they don't have that. So I'll just do this one. It was called like Science Fiction. And he's like, it's like a similar title, and he was just a boy, so he bought it and began reading it. Just a boy, and the boy got hooked on the right into the science fiction with the robots and the sexy lady and the lizard guy and the spaceman with the gun and the asteroid with the heat and the and the food in the tube and the atmosphere with the no gravity and the worm on the planet and the. Got any other science fiction tropes?
The rocket ship.
Yeah, the rocket with the crashing on the planet, and the moon to the cheese. Anyway, sorry. So while attending college, Philip never declared a major, but instead took a variety of classes from psychology to zoology. And eventually, Philip received an honorable dismissal from Berkeley due to his extreme and increasing anxiety. Damn, Rua, get out of my head. Stop telling me they don't like me, you intrusive.
Yeah, that's
Rua
crazy, because
thought.
you go to any college campus now, and every single one of those kids have got crippling anxiety.
Exactly.
So I wonder how bad his was.
No, I mean, like, he had a voice in his head. Like,
yeah,
there's something going on there. Probably they just called it anxiety. He would probably call it like multiple personalities disorder.
Yeah.
So although he didn't finish school, he did indeed pick up important information that would become extremely important to him in his work in later years. For example, he became friends with poet Robert Duncan and linguist Jack Spicer, who would give him ideas for the Martian language he would use in his later projects. Don't know what that Martian language sounds like. Like I said, I haven't read his books, but it's probably pretty good.
Pretty cool.
With the Martians and their language.
The three fingers.
Give me your best Martian, David.
This is good.
Pretty good.
This is what people tune in for.
Tune this up. Wait, everybody, roll down your windows for a second and blast this. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
For a minute, I kind of feel like I sounded like Hitler. I'm like, that yell, that like raspy yell. I don't like it. So, also through his studies in philosophy, he believed that existence is based. Okay, this is where we get a little woo, 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 woo. If you're on acid right now, be ready. So, also through his studies in philosophy, he believed that existence is based on internal human perception, which does not necessarily correspond to external reality. He described himself as a cosmic panentheist, believing in the universe only as an extension of God. After reading the work of Plato and pondering the possibilities of metaphysical realms, he came to the conclusion that, in a certain sense, the world is not entirely real, and there is no way to confirm whether it is truly there. This question from his early studies persisted as a theme in many of his novels. So that's an idea.
Yeah.
But here's the next paragraph. Here's how I start this next goddamn paragraph. Dick sold his first story, Roog, Roog, in 1951 when he was 22, about a dog who imagined that the garbage men who came every Friday morning were stealing valuable food which the family had carefully stored away in a safe metal container. Now
that just goes to show,
that's
guys.
funny.
I mean, he didn't sell his first thing until he was 22. So keep working hard.
Okay, I have to tell you
You
this.
guys could do it.
I have to tell you this. He didn't make like any money in his life.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, people don't get famous until they're fucking dead, you know?
yeah, well this is what I was going to say, because like I don't want to say he didn't make any money, because he was successful in a way. He just didn't have mainstream success. I mean, we'll get into it, but it's really fascinating. But I just love that kind of story for that. I love Roog. I kind of want to read Roog.
I'm gonna hang out with this Roog fella.
He's like, oh no, they're taking the box again. They got the rib bone in. Bring the rib bone back to Roog. Roog. Philip K. Dick's like, I figured it out. Martian language was nothing. I have dog language figured out.
People don't want Martians. They want dogs.
He's crawling around on all fours. Just
Peanut butter fucking everywhere.
He's got a Kong filled with peanut butter, just fucking bouncing it around the house.
He's got some flea medicine mixed in there somewhere.
He got his head stuck between the banisters of the stairs. He drinking out the toilet.
Got scared by the vacuum.
Man, if you really want to put Philip in his place, just bring out the fucking Dyson.
No, Dysons are too quiet.
Oh, you're right.
What is that? The shark.
Anyway.
The dust devil, baby.
Yeah,
That
dust
thing
devil.
Screams into the night.
That fucking dust devil. So, from then on, he wrote full-time. Even though Philip would become a full-time writer, he would not be recognized as successful for most of his career, struggling with money issues with most of his life. In 1960, Dick wrote that he was willing to take 20 to 30 years to succeed as a literary writer. That there's a part of me that goes like, that's so cool. And there's a part of me that goes, that is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard from somebody who wants to be a writer. He's like, I'll give it like 20, 30 years. I'm like, there's no pivoting after that, man.
Yeah.
30 years.
Go work at the factory, baby.
I mean, there is some pivoting, but still, it's like, God damn, man. Okay, that's a commitment. So, the dream of mainstream success formally died in January 1963 when the Scott Meredith Literary Agency returned all of his unsold mainstream novels. Only one of them, Confessions of a Crap Artist, was published during Dick's lifetime. So that was his initial batch of books, I guess, because
yeah,
these other books, like, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, that did get published and stuff, but it wasn't his initial, from 1963, his initial group of books or whatever.
Okay.
So, in Philip's lifetime, he was married 5 different times. But this is where shit gets a little bit more real. So, but Dick's third wife, Anne Williams Rubenstein, was one of the more notable, as she often would accompany him in violent fist fights.
Hell yeah.
So Dick wrote to a friend that he and Anne would...
Hey, the saying that they were fist fights means that it was like a mutual battle.
Oh, yeah, they're going after it.
Yeah.
So Dick wrote to a friend that he and Anne had dreadful violent fights, slamming each other around, smashing every object in the house. The toll of being an artist, I guess.
Smashing everything, including each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He should have been a director. Pull out the cameras. We got a good scene. We're both gonna. I love when two people fall down the stairs, like grabbing each other's shoulders. You know, like they kind of like both go down the stairs.
Or the hair.
I'm picturing it as like a really funny, like she swings a frying pan at him. He ducks and like hits her on the head with like a mallet, and then like he turns around. She gives him a wedgie and kicks him down the stairs. Like it's a really fun time at the Dick household. So,
but I mean, domestic abuse is not fun.
No, it's not. It's not at all. I mean, he had 5 wives,
but
so she got the fuck out of there. She figured it out. Yeah. So in 1963, Dick told his neighbors that his wife was attempting to kill him, and I'm guessing he was the catalyst for most of this, most of these fights. That his wife was attempting to kill him and had her involuntarily committed to a psychiatric institution for 2 weeks.
Ooh, at different times.
Seriously, that's like the time where like he's like, my wife. Like somebody had like postpartum depression. He's like, she's kooky in the head. I think she's broken. Put her away. And you're like, what? And he's like,
didn't you get kicked out of college because you had voices in your head?
He's like, she's the crazy one. She's Rua. That's who she is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she obviously got out. So, after filing for divorce in 1964, what?
Like, she obviously got out.
She's out.
This reminds me of one of my favorite parts of the movie Old School, when the dean comes into their house, and they're like, geez, hey, didn't we put you in a dumpster? And he just goes, I got out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't know why, but that part of that movie has always stuck with me. I just love it.
It's always the subtle lines that are the best.
Yeah.
You know?
They cut the deepest.
Yeah. So after filing for divorce in 1964, Dick moved to Oakland to live with a fan, author and editor, Grayana Davis. Shortly after, he attempted suicide by driving off the road while she was a passenger.
Oh, no.
Dude, don't go near this dude. Don't go near him. I think they were fine. Obviously, his life kept going, so attempted suicide by driving off the road. That's the classic like meme where it's like your friend's like, hey, I just want to let you know I love you guys. And you're like, don't talk like that when you're driving the car. You're scaring the fuck out of me. So in 1971, his 4th wife, Nancy, left him due to his drug abuse. So this is about the time that his mental state began to spiral even deeper, and Philip apparently had abused amphetamine for much of the previous decade, stemming in part from his need to maintain a prolific writing regimen due to the financial exigencies. I don't know what that word is. Exigencies. Anyway.
You got me. I didn't write it. You did.
I don't want to Google that word because it's actually pissing me off. It's fucking.
So you didn't write this. Are you copy and pasting?
No.
Mr. I want to be a writer.
Motherfucker, what do I do when it's somebody's life story? I'm like, Philip K. Dick walked into a room and said, I actually wrote all these books. And then he did a handstand and they gave him $1,000. Like, I can't make shit up. How do you pronounce this?
Wait, we're not allowed to make shit up?
Wait. Exigency. Didn't know that one.
What does it mean?
An urgent need or demand.
Okay.
So, due to his financial exigency of the science fiction field, so the boy needed some fucking money, so he took a bunch of fucking meth. Pretty cool. So, he also that was like Stephen King's MO. He was like a big cokehead. He says he doesn't he doesn't remember writing it.
Or Cujo, right?
There's a couple books where like Stephen King was like on a bender like for like a good many years where he was just like, I guess that shit makes you focus, and he was just cranking out books.
Dude, that's your answer.
You think?
You want to make it in this writing industry, buddy. Time to beat that nose up.
Oh my god, he just did a pound of cocaine and copy and pasted every Wikipedia. I'm like,
single.
Am I a writer now? I'm a writer.
Uh-oh.
I got you.
I lost you there for a
No,
second.
you're back. You're back.
We're good? All right.
You missed me going, I'm a writer. I'm obviously high on cocaine. So, like I said, to keep up with his regimen, he allowed other drug users to move into his house as well. Classic drug guy.
Keep them around you.
Following the release of 21 novels between 1960 and 1970, in 10 years, he wrote 21 novels. Those were the prime amphetamine years.
His poor fingers.
Wouldn't that be great if they released the amphetamine collection? The amphetamine collection by Philip K. Dick, and it's just
hit after
21 fucking books. Here you go. You're like, okay, what do I do with this?
21 books in 12 days.
And they're all just you open the pages and it's just screaming. It's all screaming.
A needle falls out.
Yeah, exactly. They're all hollowed out with drugs in them. These developments were exacerbated by unprecedented periods of writer's block as well, which Dick ultimately failing to publish new fiction until 1974. So after writing 21 books in 10 years, then he went 4 years without couldn't write anything after that. I mean, I think it makes sense. He wrote down every idea he had.
Yeah.
I don't really fault him for that one. So more and more strangeness began to occur from the 70s on. One day in November 1971, Dick returned to his home to discover he had been burglarized, with his safe blown open and personal papers missing. The police couldn't determine the culprit and even suspected Dick of having done it himself.
Possible when you're on the binge.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is 71, so technically he's not in his amphetamine years anymore. I mean, he's still probably dabbling. Let's not kid ourselves.
He could have had a slip up.
He could have had a stick of dynamite and was like, I'm going to blow this safe to kingdom come. I like blowing up a safe with a stick of dynamite. That's so cool. Next, Philip would travel to Vancouver's sci-fi convention, where he would proclaim his love for a woman named Janice, which he met at the conference over those few days, and then told everyone that he would stay in Vancouver to start his new life with Janice. I call her Janice. What's her name? Janice.
Yeah.
And as a nice gesture, a local movie critic and fan offered to let Philip stay at his place until he found his own place in Vancouver. But
what fans do we have out there that'll let us just live with you? I'm curious now. Is that a thing you get?
Well, if you go to their town and then proclaim your love for a random person there, they might let you stay there until you get on your feet, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Send us a DM if we could live with you.
just for a year or two.
Send us a copy of your key and your gate code, please and thank you. I'll cook pizza rolls.
I need the password to your ring.
I'll cook loud food at all hours of the night. The loudest food. I'm gonna pop popcorn.
I'll start one of those medieval soups that never ends. What are those called again? Perpetual stew.
Endless soup.
Yeah.
The endless stew.
It's gonna keep adding things into it.
I'm gonna get one of those old popcorn makers where you just you put it in a metal thing and then you kind of turn a crank.
It's got the big wheels on it.
What?
I thought you were talking about the big things that you see at movie theaters.
No, not a
had,
cart.
Wheel.
No, you put it on the stove. That's maybe even better. That thing's louder. I've been at that movie theater going off fucking popping out the top, Yeah. So, but like I said, this person let him move in, but only after 2 weeks he kicked Philip out due to his erratic behavior, which also resulted in Janice dumping his ass.
And now he lost 2 fans.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it, I shouldn't have eaten all that popcorn. Fuck. So on March 23rd, 1972, Dick attempted suicide again by taking an overdose of the sedative potassium bromide, which is used to treat dog epilepsy.
I knew that.
Did you? Oh my God, you did. Which actually makes a lot of sense because he was scared of the vacuum.
Yeah, there you go. No, my boy, he attacked the vacuum. Now the little girl, she's, oh my God,
terrifying.
We call it the Scooby Doo's.
Well, I was talking about Philip K. Dick was scared of the vacuum, honestly, but
I was talking about Kuma.
I know
he would attack. No, we like to call it Scooby-Dooing is when they do like a burnout.
Oh yes, of
when they're
course.
running as fast as they can
Stay
on
in
the
one
hardwood,
place.
but they don't go anywhere.
Of course.
Love it.
Did Kuma take potassium bromide?
No, they ruled out it wasn't epilepsy.
Oh, okay. So, which is like I said, used to treat epilepsy in dogs. Subsequently, after deciding to seek help, he survived that obviously, and he decided to seek help for his addiction. He became a participant in X-Calais, which apparently is a drug rehabilitation cult. I think like they're stationed in like Santa Monica. They might still be a thing.
It sounds like a positive cult. I don't think those exist.
Yeah, I mean, AA in itself is like, I'm not shitting on AA but like I didn't know AA was like so heavy in religion. It's a Catholic.
Well, they're usually held in churches, I think, or high school.
Yeah, but I thought that's because churches
off.
you can't say no to people. You're like, I want to have a birthday party here, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna let you do it because
Really.
Well, they're supposed to be philanthropic. So if you want to have a meeting for people trying to get over addiction, I feel like a church is like, yeah, that's probably like a really nice thing to do. I didn't know it was like AA was so, it's like really entrenched in God and Jesus and that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think anything related to religion like could result in cult. Whoa.
You're treading in deep water, my friend.
No, I'm not. That's not. This is literally every like religion that we've covered. I mean, every cult that we've covered on here started as like a religion, and the person. I'm not saying religion is culty. I'm saying people who abuse power that like usually becomes like very culty, and they take advantage of people, and they like they don't let them talk to their family members. I'm not talking about like unless your actual religion has those tenets in it. I'm done defending myself. All religions are cults. I backpedaled. I'm going. All religions are cults. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, it's official.
Fuck
Put
them.
on a t-shirt.
Fuck them. Put on a t-shirt. Fuck them. Who? All of them. Everyone. So, like I said, and he was well enough after leaving X-Calais to go back to California in April. And in October of 1972, Dick wrote a letter to the FBI about science fiction writer Thomas Disch, which denounced Disch and suggested that there were coded messages prompted by a covert organization in Disch's novel Camp Concentration. Obviously, I don't know what that book is about, but we know what the other one is.
Yeah.
So, but apparently, I looked up. I was like, Thomas Disch. I was like, who's this guy? And he was like another science fiction writer. And
was he a Nazi?
He was like a fan of Philip K. Dick. And then like Philip K. Dick read his book. It was like you're fucking. You have hidden messages, and I called the FBI on you, and fuck you, and I hate you, and he's like, what the fuck? And he like was unaware for a while, and he was just like, I'm such a big Philip K. Dick fan, and then all of a sudden Philip K. Dick came out, I was like, you're a fucking Nazi spy, basically, and he's like, what? And he like wrote a book after Philip K. Dick died, where Philip K. Dick was in hell with writer's block, and he's like, fuck Philip K. Dick, and he like hated him after that. And he's like, I hope he rots in hell, and I hope all of his kids get like from his residuals. Like, I hope they all get fucking go poor. And I'm like, oh my god, but he's dead too.
Never
now.
meet your heroes.
Yeah, I get this guy. I don't know if Philip K. Dick did to this guy, but he was really mad. So
he was a real dick.
Yeah, a real Philip. On February 20th, 1974, while recovering from the side effects of another opioid, I think sodium pentothal. Fuck, that's what it is. Sodium pentothal.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Administered by. Oh, it's like he just had it for an impacted wisdom tooth. He had to get it extracted, so it's like a sedative, a momentary sedative. And while he's recovering from the effects of sodium pentothal, Dick received a home delivery of Darvon, which is another opioid, from a young woman. When he opened the door, he was struck by the dark-haired girl's beauty and was especially drawn to her golden necklace. So I'm just going to preface this by saying this was some form of hallucination. And under the Wikipedia, it says paranormal experiences. So
Cool.
could be a ghost. I don't know. But he was taken by her golden necklace. He asked her about its curious fish-shaped design as she was leaving. She replied, "This is a sign used by the early Christians." Dick called the symbol the vesicle Pisces. And Dick recounted that as the sun glinted off the gold pendant, here we go, the reflection caused the generation of a pink beam of light that mesmerized him. He came to believe that the beam imparted wisdom and clairvoyance, and also believed it to be intelligent. On one occasion, he was startled by a separate recurrence of the pink beam, like the beam showed up again, which imparted the information that his infant son was ill. The Dicks rushed the child to the hospital where the illness was confirmed by professional diagnosis. He was diagnosed with right inguinal hernia, which is, I guess, maybe deadly in children.
Okay.
So it's pretty crazy. It's like pretty obviously that it's like pretty obvious that it's like a crazy, weird psychosis moment. But then at the same time, if that's true, and he said this beam like passed knowledge onto him about his son being sick, and the doctor's like, actually, yeah, like he had this. Like, it leaves some questions, right?
Yeah.
Pretty weird. I mean, he was a weird dude already, but like, how much is he connected to something?
Okay.
He got very religious, like in his later, later years, and we'll go into
his golden years.
Oh no, he died pretty early, honestly.
He didn't make it.
He didn't. No gold, maybe silver. So after the woman's departure, Dick began experiencing strange hallucinations. Although initially attributing them to side effects from medication, he himself said there were side effects from medication. He considered this explanation implausible after weeks of continued hallucination. He told Charles Platt, I don't know who that is, I experience an invasion of my mind by a transcendentally rational mind, as if I had been insane all my life and suddenly I had become sane. Again, pretty interesting statement.
Yeah.
From a crazy person. So, throughout February and March of 1974, Dick experienced a series of hallucinations aside from the pink beam. He described the initial hallucinations as geometric patterns and occasionally brief pictures of Jesus and ancient Rome. As the hallucinations increased in duration and frequency, Dick claimed he began to live two parallel lives, one as himself, Philip K. Dick, and one as Thomas, a Christian persecuted by Romans in the 1st century A.D.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Pretty interesting.
Right? He kind of...
I mean, I don't want to throw that word around too much. I would say it's interesting.
That's what I said. Wait, what? But like, it is kind of it's weird that his whole like idea for like he kind of was like, I'm second Jesus, right? Like when we boil it down, he's like, I might be second Jesus, or I
mean, listen, we all think we're second Jesus.
I'm second. I'm gonna be third Jesus. I call third, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But I don't know. Like his books are pretty like like I said, I haven't read them, but I hear people talk about them, and they're like prophetic in a way, or like very eye opening. And I mean, he was really into that. I wonder if your mind is open to the idea of the subject he wrote about. Is that what turns your psychosis into believing you're second Jesus, or was he in fact second Jesus? So he was very open. He was able to communicate whatever he was communicating. A lot of questions here, man. I just
fried my brain, brother.
Here's the thing. I just lay the questions out. You guys answer them. So he also wrote letters to the FBI accusing people of being foreign agents of the Warsaw Pact powers, trying to sway Americans' public opinion. And also, he thought he was sometimes possessed by the spirit of the prophet Elijah. Anyway,
I don't know that. I don't know that guy. I don't know this fucking Elijah.
no
guy.
one knows that guy. That's why you can pretend
That's
to
a
be
deep
him.
That's fair.
He walks in with a toothpick and like a fucking cool hat, and he's like, "What's up? It's me, Elijah." They're like, "I don't really know what Elijah's like. This might be Elijah." And he's like, "When's I'm Elijah?" He has a paddle ball. He's like,
He's
me,
asking for his
Elijah."
waifu.
What's up? It's me, Elijah. I can't say he's not Elijah. He doesn't seem like an Elijah, but maybe. So this is kind of wrapping it up, but I thought this was kind of like a sweet moment from somebody who he obviously struggled with his mental health most of his life. Yeah. Regardless if you want to say he was, prophetic or he was possessed by these people or the second coming of Jesus or whatever you want to say, it wasn't easy on him. Raul's in his head screaming that the Mets are going to win and to place a $40,000 bet. And he's just got to be like, I don't got the money, Raul. I don't got the money. So he's...
The Mets don't win, so...
Yeah, the Mets, baby, the Mets. See, but that's why you could make the most money, because the Mets don't win. Yeah. So even Philip was like, I don't really trust you, Raul. And he's like, yeah, you got to do it. I'm Elijah, too. So just to wrap this up, he struggled with a lot of mental health, and he didn't have a lot of money as a result of it. Although he was hailed as a genius in the science fiction world, the mainstream literary world was unappreciative, and he could publish books only through low-paying science fiction publishers, such as a company called Ace. Even in his later years, he continued to have financial troubles. And in the introduction to the 1980 short story collection, The Golden Man, he wrote this. Several years ago, when I was ill, Heinlein, he's a sci-fi author, and he actually wrote many books, but his most famous is Starship Troopers.
Hey-o.
Yeah, so Heinlein offered his help, anything he could do, and we had never met. He would phone me to cheer me up and see how I was doing. He wanted to buy me an electric typewriter. God bless him. One of the few true gentlemen in this world. I don't agree with his ideas he puts forth in his writing, but that is neither here nor there. One time when I owed the IRS a lot of money and couldn't raise it, Heinlein loaned the money to me. I think a great deal of him and his wife. I dedicated a book to them in appreciation. Robert Heinlein is a fine-looking man, very impressive and very military in stance. You can tell he has a military background even to the haircut. He knows I'm a flipped-out freak, and still he helped me and my wife when we were in trouble. That is the best in humanity. There. That is who and what I love. And I thought that was, really sweet.
Yeah.
He's like, I know I'm a handful. I know I have issues. But, this guy who had some modicum of success saw my work and saw who I was as a writer, and he wanted to help me out even though we had never met before. And I think, those little moments from somebody who had such a difficult life, regardless of his acclaim now, they probably meant a lot to him, which is really nice to hear that this guy caught a break every once in a while, because
yeah,
it seemed
you get a lot of fans, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have a lot of friends.
Exactly. And he didn't even have a lot of fans while he was alive. It's most of the stuff was posthumous. That's what I was saying. And at the age of 53 years old, March 2nd, 1982, Philip K. Dick suffered a stroke in his home and another in the hospital, making him brain dead. Philip was disconnected from life support, cremated, and buried next to his twin sister Jane by his father Joseph. Jane's tombstone had been inscribed with both of their names at the time of her death 53 years earlier. Philip died 4 months before the release of Blade Runner in 1982.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So it's like he said his eyesight was like, he's like, my eyesight's like all weird, and they're like, go to the hospital. He's like, no, I'm fine. And then he had a stroke. They brought him to the hospital. He had another stroke, and then he went brain dead. But I just thought it was like hauntingly sweet that his sister, when she died at 6 weeks old, they put a tombstone for her and for Philip. So his name was on a tombstone for 53 years.
Yeah.
With his birth date and a blank space where his death date was.
Crazy.
That's
kind of haunting in its own.
That's what I mean. But it's so.
That's some Edgar Allan Poe shit.
Exactly. But like, it's also so sweet that like he got buried next to his twin sister who didn't get a long life, and that like they inscribed that so they would be together in death. And I was like, it's like the most bittersweet thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So
very poetic.
And then dying 4 months before Blade Runner too. It's like, it's so sad, but it's so like, it's so appropriate for this like this troubled life. I don't know. It just like, it does make sense. It's almost like his life was a book in a way.
Yeah.
So, or a story, I should say. So that's the story of Philip K. Dick. Very interesting man. Go watch Blade Runner. I don't think I could watch it tonight because it's already late, but I was going to. But I'll watch it tomorrow.
Movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
The first one?
Pretty sure.
Okay, I'll watch it like tomorrow probably. But
anyway,
that's Philip K. Dick.
Right on. All right, now Tobin, how often do you lose things?
I lost my wallet the other day. It was in the car, but I couldn't find it for a good minute.
Well, imagine you lost your wallet.
Oh, I did.
And 48 hours later, your wallet shows up. But the wallet is miles away, looks visibly different, and was wearing a new outfit.
Explain yourself.
Well, today we are going to talk about the disappearance of Ryker Webb.
Don't know him.
Do you know? I have a feeling you've seen the photos. So this story takes place in my home away from home, Montana, Troy, Montana to be exact. Ryker Webb was 3 years old at the time of the accident.
He had a wallet?
He might have. A little Velcro.
$1, one crisp dollar bill.
You remember your first wallet?
Yeah, I do actually. It was Velcro. I think it was a Buzz Lightyear wallet.
I remember mine. Mine was like like vinyl they make like those like diner seats out of.
Yes.
It was like that vinyl, and it was actually wasn't Velcro. It was one of the like the pop buttons.
Oh, the one that has like a latch on it? Yeah. I know what you mean.
Didn't have a latch. It's just like the simple little like you click it in.
Okay.
Like sunglass cases have them on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else that would have it on. But I had one of those, and it was the blue Power Ranger.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good
Billy
one.
was my guy.
I do think, though, out of all the wallets, the best wallet in my whole existence would have to be the duct tape wallet that you buy off a guy from like elementary school / middle school / high school.
Okay.
You know, that guy that makes the duct tape wallet?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's trash, but it's so cool at the time.
Never had one of those. I think my favorite wallet I ever owned was one I bought the first time I went to Montana. And it was like a light leather, simple wallet. But on the outside, it had like an engraving of a grizzly bear.
Oh, that's a good one. Little embossed grizzly.
Yeah.
Nice.
It eventually fell apart, but...
It was an airport wallet, right? Airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but it was.
It was. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
So Ryker Webb was 3 years old at the time of the accident when the boy was in his front yard playing with his dogs. After some time had passed, his parents went outside to check on him to discover that he was nowhere in sight.
Oh, that is horrifying.
Yep. It was immediately called in to the sheriff's department by the Webb family's next door neighbor, as the family searched for the boy around 4:53 p.m. saying that the boy had gone missing in the Bull Lake area just a little south of Troy. It was noted that the house itself was near the mile 18 marker along the 56th highway, or Highway 56. The law enforcement team and search and rescue member David Thompson responded to help look for the boy, and they had come to the consensus that the boy had already been missing for at least 2 hours.
Dave Thompson, now that's the guy that makes the Wendy's Square hamburger, right?
Now he's dead.
That's not Dave Thompson?
No, this is David Thompson, search and rescue.
Who was I thinking of? Not Dave Thomas, was it?
It was Dave Thomas.
It was Dave.
No.
No.
Dave Thomas is the singer of...
David, that is like the most common name ever, but no, there's only one Dave Thomas, and that is the Wendy's guy.
What's the other one up? The singer of Third Eye Blind or something?
Oh, you're thinking of Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. Also from Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas.
He was also in an episode of It's Always Sunny.
He was in that? He was in an episode?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was the one where I think Dennis was in the insane asylum.
Oh my god, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or Frank. Who's in the insane asylum? Frank?
No, I think...
They unzipped me!
Dennis.
They unzipped me!
Well, I think they've both been in there.
Everyone
It's
has
genetic.
in that show, I feel like.
The search and rescue team deployed ground crews, so like people walking around in the woods, people driving ATVs, several drones, dogs, and a boat unit to search the area because they were next to what was the
Bullhead Lake?
Bull Lake area.
Oh.
The next day, so now the first day was Saturday, now we're on Saturday. First day was Friday, now we're on Saturday.
You're the worst investigator I've ever seen. We lost the boy
See, I told you,
Monday or
I
Wednesday.
should just freeballed this. It would have been better.
I would have loved to watch you, fucking off the cuff. The kid.
I mean, nothing I've really provided has been that crucial.
You read like highway markers and stuff.
It doesn't fucking matter.
You did it, didn't you? You kidnapped
What?
him. How do you know so much about it? Huh?
The next day, 2 Montana National Guard helicopters took flight to aid in the search for the 3-year-old boy. Quickly, I will address a thing that kept coming up for me and confusing the hell out of me, and that is that the boy was reported to be 4 years old by the neighbor when they called in, but they were mistaken, and it was corrected later by the family that Ryker was 3. So if anybody looks this up,
3 3/4.
Sure. I just kept confusing me because I was like, "What? How old is this goddamn kid?" And then I found a thing saying that was the situation. But when you're that age, it's all the same, right?
I was gonna make like a really morbid joke.
Yeah, and not too many jokes to be made with this story because it's dealing with a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I should probably. I'm like, it doesn't really. I'm joking. So, but
Shelf it.
what year was this?
Oh boy, I think this was like a year or 2 ago.
Okay, I think I know what story you're talking about then.
Yeah.
I think I
Along
saw
with the
some
national,
pics.
yes, the pics are pretty famous.
Yeah. Okay, then I can make
along
the joke.
with what?
Then I can make the joke.
Right? You gotta save it for later when I talk about the pics.
Nah, I probably shouldn't say the joke. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, then don't say it.
Okay.
Along with the National Guard, other Montana law enforcement like the Flathead County branch sent help with more drones and officers with search dogs. Now, one element that made this search not just difficult but terrifying was the weather. During his hours missing, the area experienced heavy rain and thunderstorms that mixed with the dense vegetation of the area made for a terrible situation.
I literally can't even imagine walking through the Montana wilderness in the pitch black with a thunderstorm and rain. As a 3-year-old?
Yeah.
Holy
well, there's
shit.
also another factor, and
mine.
that would be the wildlife.
Oh, yeah.
Montana is known for its dangerous nature, including things like grizzly bears, mountain lions, and wolves. which no 3-year-old would ever stand a chance against. Less, even the biggest, strongest person in the world could not take on those 3.
Speak for yourself.
Barehanded, at least. A red alert was sent out to everyone in town to search their homes and anything on their property that a small child could hide in.
You got anything that looks like a 4-year-old over there? Any weird plants standing in your front yard that don't look like a plant?
And now we got a 3-year-old, though.
We have a big a big sunflower in the front yard that's been crying for 2 days, and I can't figure out what I done wrong. Did I water it too much? That's a child.
I thought the storm would take care of it.
Ned, that's a child, Ned.
They also put out a missing person report that was sent out nationwide and probably parts of Canada as well. This is just me assuming since the state is bordering Canada.
Damn, that kid is a straight up illegal immigrant.
It's possible.
Send him back.
After the boy had gone missing on Friday, the police received a call on Sunday that the boy had been found.
Woo!
So he was gone for 48 hours.
48?
48.
Shit.
Deputies responded to a call from Pine Ridge Road off of Fork Bowl River Road in the Sanders County. According to the people who found him, he was very scared but happy to have been found. The boy was hungry, thirsty, and cold, but overall he was going to be okay. Ryker Webb was found, but this is where the story gets a little bizarre, or maybe even strange.
I don't know anything past. I don't know anything past the fact that he was found. Do you think that his parents are gonna make him become a Marine now?
Probably. Hoorah.
Carry the.
You don't have to take no tests.
Y'all lay down on the beach. We're gonna put a log on your chest, and the wave gonna wash over you till you can't feel no more.
So
Ryker.
like I said, this is where it gets kind of crazy.
What's his name,
The
Ryker?
boy was Ryker.
Ryker.
The boy was found 2.3 miles away from his home. So it's pretty far for a 3-year-old to walk.
I could
he
walk
was
that
hiding-
in a minute.
The boy was hiding in a log cabin shed
What?
underneath. Yeah, so it was like a shed that was like a log cabin-esque kind of vibe.
Okay. Was it connected to a house?
No, it was separate from the house.
But like it was near a house.
Yes.
Those lazy
it was like in the backyard.
fucks.
Well, that's what's... I'll get back to it.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't want to preemptive any of this.
He was hiding under a lawnmower bag to keep warm. So you know that big old nutsack on the back of lawnmowers that fills up with grass.
Well, I thought you were gonna say he was hiding under a lawnmower. I'm like, Ryker, not the spot, buddy. It's like a cat sleeping on top of the engine. Like, that's the ones where like they turn that bitch on, and all of a sudden, Ryker is he's chopped up into a bunch of little pieces.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I didn't know how else to word it.
Yeah, so the boy was dirty, had bruises on his face, and was in a pair of tattered and torn pajamas.
It's like a onesie, right?
Onesie that the family did not recognize.
Oh,
so it wasn't theirs.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
Yeah, it wasn't his clothes.
That's horribly haunting and disturbing. I had no idea about that.
The pajamas might not be the only thing the parents did not recognize, but Ryker himself.
Shut the fuck up.
The photos of the child from before the disappearance to when he was found are hauntingly different. They honestly, to me, do not look like the same kid at all. From the widths of his eyes to the color of his hair, the shape of his head, the shape of his nose, and the size of his mouth, it all looks off. Similar, but looks off. I will post on Instagram, so if you're too lazy to Google Ryker Webb on your own,
David's
you can look at there.
David's got me strapped to a chair, and he's like, "Look at his big toes! Hurry! Look at this guy's look at his big toe!" And I'm like, "Please let me go." He's like, "No, they're not the same toes. They're not."
He just looks different. That's all I'm saying. The police questioned the 3-year-old about what happened.
Quiz him. That's how you figure out you fucking quiz him.
And as anyone who has spent time with a 3-year-old knows, not a lot was really discovered when they questioned him. The police do believe that Ryker was never in contact with another person, saying that, no one took him, but who can honestly say? And within my deep dive investigation, I found a TikTok from who I'd guess is Ryker's older brother, Caden, because the username was like Caden Webb or whatever, where Caden says to Ryker, "People keep asking what happened. Do you remember when you got lost?" And Ryker responds saying, "I saw a house in the woods. Someone lived in the house." But most of what he says is like kind of mumbles, like you cannot tell what he's saying. Those are the only things you can really understand clearly. So you don't really know what he's trying to say. And there's still just a lot of questions surrounding the story. And it's easy to say that the photos shown could have been like a greater time apart from when this actually happened. So like, I don't know, because typically when you look this up, there's 2 photos of him being found and a photo of him like smiling at a park or something. And what I'm trying to say is like, who knows how long ago that photo at the park was compared to when he was found. But when you look at those 2 photos next to each other, like it just does not look like the same kid at all.
So here's my question though.
Yeah.
He had red hair, correct?
Yeah.
Where the hell are you going to find 2 redheads in Montana that 3 years old? That's a dime a dozen.
That's a good point, but even the hair color is just off too.
Really? Shell shock will do that to their gray now.
The old photo is much more like traditional redhead, darker, and then the photo of him when he was found is like more of a strawberry blondish red.
You think he got like fucking Ust? Jordan Peele's Ust?
The fact that this is a small child, like I don't really want to like jump into like like
probably
weird shit like that.
Yeah, I won't say that he got chopped up underneath a lawnmower. I won't say it. You can't force me to say it. I won't say it.
And you can also bring up the fact that you could just say the boy simply got lost, and the sheer shock of everything going on with fear, dehydration, anxiety could make a photo look, like he's kind of got the shell shock eyes that you see from those photos of like World War like I soldiers and shit like that.
Yeah.
But just the fact that the distance he traveled and the weather conditions and the change of clothes, it just feels off to me. It doesn't seem right. But to wrap this up, all I'm going to say is that I'm glad the boy's home and safe. And I hope it's just one of those weird situations that it was just a bad photo. Maybe just one of them needs to be a bad photo for me to say like, oh, okay, yeah, it was just a bad photo.
I just love that.
But my God, the two photos are just so drastically different.
It's just so funny because it's like you don't want to be like the Alex Jones who's like, Alex Jones is like took it to a level of 1,000 where like he was like denying that like children were murdered, and Dave was just like it's kind of like a fun conspiracy theory, but it's also like people take shit too far. Like for us, it's fun, and you just go, "Oh, that's kind of interesting. How kooky and then there's people who go, "They work with Epstein. You guys run a child ring," and then they find the family and they send them death threats, and they're like, "Bring back the real Caden." Yeah. And that's why you have to preface it by being like, "I hope it's just a bad photo," because like we say this shit on here, and then we have to be like, this is all good and fun. We don't actually fully believe this. And if we do believe it in any sense, it's for fun. It's not for cracking a case and being like, we need to solve this. It's more of like, ooh, how, Avril Lavigne died and this is actually her twin. Fun.
Yeah.
Or fake first. When you were originally telling it, I thought you were going to go into not that it's a different child. I thought you were going to say he got kidnapped and somebody put him in like new pajamas, and then when they found out that like everybody was looking for him, I don't know what they would think would happen if a 3-year-old went missing, but maybe they panicked and then just dumped him off in the forest, and then they're like, run back to your family, you know what I mean, or something like that. So like the kid would be found and people would just be like, oh, he went missing in the woods, not I got
it's
kidnapped.
Absolutely a possibility. I mean, the kid's so young that like a lot of that stuff isn't going to be remembered.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing, too, where like a 3-year-old will be like, there was a man in a house. But my favorite theory is that an old man, like an 80-year-old man, walked out of his house, saw him standing there in like tattered clothes, and he's like, you need new clothes? And the boy's like, yeah. And he's like, here you go. And like gave him like a tiny one. He's like,
and just went back inside.
He's like, this is my nephew's. And he's like, best be getting on. And like walked back into his house. Like didn't understand.
You just never know it. That could have happened.
It could have happened. Like he doesn't understand the gravity of the situation because he's just like so disconnected. And he's like, oh, I just met he goes back and tells his wife, I just met a nice man in the backyard.
He's a small gentleman.
Gave him some of Tanner's old clothes.
But I just also don't get like why he would go hide in someone's shed. Like, why wouldn't he just go to their house if it's like right there? You know?
There's also like that.
But it's a 3-year-old.
Yeah, it's a stranger danger aspect where you're like you're so lost and scared that you're just like another adult is not my mom or dad. And they're not using logic. Like, if I get an adult, they will call the police. They're just like, I'm scared. I'm scared of everybody and everything. I want to be in a place where I'm not surrounded by anybody that can harm me. Because a human can harm him. So he's probably like, I don't know, maybe thinking that too.
Have you seen the two photos that are compared?
I've seen the photo of him sitting in the back of the ambulance with like the dirt around his eyes, and he looks
just
crazy.
Google his name real quick. Just Google his name. Go Ryker Webb.
How do you spell Ryker?
RYKERWEBB.
I did not spell Ryker like that. Ryker Webb. Okay.
Go Google images. It'll pop up.
Oh.
You see the side by side?
Yes. I see what you mean. Why do they only have 2 photos of him?
Yeah, that's also kind of weird.
No, that's definitely him.
You think so?
Look at those eyes.
The eyes are completely different spots, though.
He's smiling in one, and he's like really... What do you mean different spots? You see,
they're closer together. The bridge of his nose is way wider in the older photo.
Does he have a tattoo that we can cross-reference?
Where's this Hatchet Man tattoo?
Oh, I see. Can you ask him if he remembers what happened? Is he in like the hoodie and the sneakers?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that looks like him. I see where the
hair colors differ.
I see where the conspiracy can pop up, but also like this picture looks like he's 2 years old, and this picture looks like he's like almost 4.
See, that was my big thing. It was like I'm just hopeful that
he aged.
I'm hoping that those photos aren't close to each other.
I got another picture of Ryker right here. Oh my God, he crawled under the lawnmower. Oh my God, is that Ryker? I'm just joking. No.
Oh my God, wait, he plays for the Los Angeles Lakers now.
But yeah, I can see the conspiracy theory, but I think it's him. Who else? Yeah. Where else you gonna find a redhead 4-year-old with that amount of time? 2 days? I get you one in 2 weeks.
2 days impossible.
2 days? FedEx can't even ship them that quick. Come on. Anyway, I keep doing like this southern accent today. I'm like,
it's an easy go-to.
Yeah. It's funny when you say something stupid. You can blame it on that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. We love telling you the stories, and we love when you stick around and listen. If you guys want any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram, and you could click the link in bio and find the link to our merch. You can send us something, either DM or email at campstrangepodcast@gmail.com. And please rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend if you can. If they want to know about Philip K. Dick or a imposter toddler, you know, tell them to listen to this. They'll love it. They'll love it when I say the 4-year-old crawled underneath. I almost called it a vacuum. He didn't crawl in a vacuum. He crawled on a lawnmower. It's great. You think underneath the lawnmower bag's warm?
No.
That's got to be pretty warm.
I don't think it is.
Intrusive.
I mean, it's warmer than nothing, but
My
like I don't think it's.
thoughts are winning. I need to crawl under it. I feel like the guy in The Happening who lays on the grass as that lawnmower runs him over.
Chances are it's damp too.
Oh, it's damp. Who don't love the smell of fresh cut grass? The big wet bag. Anyway, but thank you guys so much again. Before we head out, David, do you have anything to say?
Hit the nay-nay before you get a whooping.
Heard him, Ryker. Heard him. And don't forget to stay strange.